Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. Today a very important day for Bitcoin and the whole crypto community and crypto prices as well. Today we will see the release of the CPI data, the consumer price inflation data, a little bit later today, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit when we take a look at the Bitcoin price chart. Overall, we can see a little bit of a recovery here in the market. Bitcoin currently just now back below 42.7k. Had a bit of a resistance zone there yesterday that Bitcoin went above. We're gonna take a look at that. But while Bitcoin recovered a little bit, briefly it was above 43k. We saw some altcoins recovering. As I indicated yesterday, when Bitcoin is going on that way to recovery and breaks that resistance, you will see a bit of a rally for altcoins. And my plan is, if Bitcoin continues to do so, then I'm going to take some profits because I do expect another final sell-off, and we're going to talk about that. Bitcoin, let's start with the consumer price inflation data. Obviously, it hasn't been released yet today, but it will be. And the last two times that was done, we had here one time in November, and then we had another time in December. We're going to take a look at what that made with the price. So in November, it allowed Bitcoin to reach the all-time high. So there you go. It did allow Bitcoin to reach the all-time high. This was here on the 10th of November. Before the release of the data, we had Bitcoin climb up, probably in anticipation. There was a bit of pump and dump going on, bit of manipulation possibly. But what we can see here, that when the data was released, the price did drop. It certainly, whatever way it will happen or what will happen, it certainly means that it could be a volatile day, because on that day here on the 1 hour chart, you can see that the price moved up from the low from 66k all the way to 69k and then dumped again much lower to 62.7k or 62.8. All right, the next time, and that was then in December, we had this peak here. We were obviously already in the downtrend, and you can see that on that day, the 10th of December, we also had the price go up from 47.5 all the way to 50.1k briefly before it massively dropped. Okay, why is that? You know, inflation data at the moment quite high. Why would the price drop when it's released? In my view, and that is what many people don't consider, many people say when the inflation data is higher than expected, the Bitcoin price would go up because people will rush into cryptocurrencies as a hedge against in high inflation. But I think it's usually the other way around. Again, as always, you know, when most people think it's going to happen one way, it's normally going to happen the other way. And the reason for that is, I think, if you think a step further, with high inflation data, the Fed has to increase interest rates, or it's more likely that this is going to happen, or that they will tighten the monetary policy or whatever. And under these circumstances, it's actually not great news for Bitcoin. But then looking at it overall, I don't think it has a major effect here on the cryptos longer term, or, you know, on significant price moves. I think these are generally, at least what has come out in the last few months, these are short-term effects. But nevertheless, it means it could be an interesting day. Could be an interesting day for Bitcoin, yeah, and Cardano, of course, and other cryptos. And yeah, we broke yesterday here key resistance here. Yeah, we had a resistance point here at 42.7. Now we did break below that again, and I think we're currently retesting that resistance line from below. So it was a little bit of a fake out. In my view, I mean, that could still be something here like a bull flag, but it looks like we're currently retesting the line again from below. Now we are still here in this range now, again between 40.5 and 42.7. Couldn't get beyond this resistance area here on the left hand side, all the way up to 43.6. Again, there are a few options what can happen now, and I did mention them yesterday in the video. My most likely option is now that we have actually already completed here this wave 3 or smaller wave 5, and that we're now on our way into this wave 4, which is going to sit between around 47.1 and 49.5k. when Bitcoin is going to get towards or into this area, I will probably take some profits of altcoins and Bitcoin possibly. Obviously, I can't recommend that to you. This is up to you totally, because I think that if we're going to get up here in this area, of course, I won't take all profits, but I'll take some, because I do expect after this, which would be a wave 4 retracement, in my view, I would expect a wave 5 sell-off. I mean, this is the area where we will position ourselves for the final sell-off, as indicated yesterday in the video already. What I just see here on the chart actually, and while we are below 42.7, we've broken actually the channel to the upside. Didn't notice that before. We did. Now this could again be a fake out, a little bit like up here, but let me just go to the 4-hour chart, and we broke it even here on the 4-hour, and yeah, we might just be retesting that channel. So it could really be, well, we are sort of retesting here this horizontal as resistance, but we're also retesting here this channel descending trend line as support. So that could then really push us further into this direction. Bear in mind, today could be a very, very fast move up and then a quick move down potentially, if the same thing happens like the last few times. So if this today should push us into this area, which is entirely possible, from 43 roughly to 47, then and you want to take some profits, you have to be fast today. Okay, that's just up to you, of course, but that's just as a reminder. Now, if we hit that wave 4, and it could just be a wick, yeah, then we are positioning ourselves for that last move down, in my view, into this area between 20 and 29k, with the most likely level sitting around 26.7k. That is the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level for Bitcoin. And that's pretty much the price at the moment. Cardano moving up also carries on what we talked about yesterday, that Cardano is continuing to move up from here, because it did break out of the descending wedge. Now, how long is that going to go on for? Can't tell you, but I think we're going to find resistance here at this orange line, which will be resistance line here at just below 124, I think. Yeah, I mean, if we can get up there, at least at the moment we find a bit of resistance, but I think that will be definitely a meaningful one, and I could imagine that we bounce off from there, the 124 level. If we get above that, really good sign, but I don't, I would think that we might find some resistance there. Still some scope though on the 4-hour RSI, still some scope to move up further on the 8-hour. So the shorter term RSIs are giving us a sign that we can move up further. Last few times, however, here at the 50 line of the RSI on the 8-hour chart, we found resistance, and we're nearly there. So that could be a sign that we find resistance now, because this seems to be on the RSI really a resistance level for Cardano. Now I could imagine we try to move up there and then find resistance. Cardano definitely has scope to move up if Cardano can manage it, and here we might get another bullish crossover if that continues to the upside. I mean, we broke just this descending wedge bullish pattern, as we said, but Cardano really needs to move in a first step here above this 124, and then there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. Unfortunately, it broke this impulsive pattern here as we made a new lower low here with 107, 108. But again, everybody, all channel members who also had their buy order triggered at exactly at low again. Yeah, because that's what we did on the channel. We had a buy order triggered at $1.08, which was again perfectly the low here. Yeah, and we are now nicely in profit. So, everybody who bought back then can, of course, at their own convenience, take profit, because we have a nice profit from here already within just a couple of days. 12%, which is not bad. And we already see the first red candle here. Now that could be a little bit of a retracement before we then try to approach the 123, 124 level. So I would expect some resistance here, and need to obviously see how the price is going to react to it. Overall, we're still waiting here for a breakout of Cardano to the upside, a real breakout. That today could obviously influence Cardano as well. If Bitcoin pushes quickly, maybe ahead of the CPI data, maybe there's a bit of pumping and dumping going on, then Cardano could be affected as well. So bear that in mind. That's pretty much the overview for this morning. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button. I'll keep you updated, and subscribe. And if you really want to, if you really like the content, and if you like to join the core community and see also my buy and sell orders, all sorts of other stuff, attend the live chat, go into Discord, and attend a live stream per week, then maybe consider to join as a channel member. You can do that on my website, and the link is in the description, or you can even do it on YouTube. It's basically the same extras. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.